He simply orders a cappuccino, but the barista acts like it's the end of the world, while a tank aims right at him. Sensing the tension, he quickly switches his order to a drip coffee. The barista relaxes, and the tank turns its barrel away. As a low-tier NPC, he can't even choose his own coffee in this game. In this open-world game, only high-paying players wearing sunglasses can do whatever they want. Meanwhile, NPCs live boring, repetitive lives. He wakes up, greets his goldfish, picks the exact same outfit from his closet, and goes to work at the bank. Whenever players burst in to rob them, they meekly lie on the ground, casually discussing what takeout to get for lunch. On his way home, he spots a female player humming a tune. As she passes, time seems to stop, and he watches her walk away from an explosion, feeling something he's never felt before. For the first time, he breaks his routine to chase after her, but the moment he says hello, he gets hit by a car. Luckily, NPCs can respawn infinitely, but something inside him has changed. When a robber smashes the bank glass again, Guy realizes this routine is pointless. Spotting his dream girl outside, his buddy tells him to give up on sunglasses-wearing players, but that advice only fires him up. Determined, Guy tries to steal the robber's sunglasses. The player is shocked and tries to strike back, but Guy refuses to accept his pre-programmed fate any longer. Having awakened self-awareness, Guy accidentally shoots the robber during the struggle. Leaving everyone stunned, he puts on the sunglasses and sees a vibrant world full of neon heads-up displays. Jets and artillery are everywhere. He finds a health pack that instantly heals his facial wounds, making him feel truly alive for the very first time. Just then, a player dies nearby and drops a huge stash of cash. Guy happily collects it, quadrupling his bank account, and withdraws it to buy his dream sneakers. But as he sets off to find the girl, game developers notice an anomaly. Thinking a hacker killed a player, programmers Keys and Mouser select crazy skins to go into the game and punish him. Keys poses as a dirty cop, while Mouser plays a pink bunny. Confronted by these two weirdos, Guy is utterly confused by their strange accusations. They accuse him of stealing a skin, but Guy doesn't understand a word until both officers open fire on him. Ducking under flying glass, he notices his new sneakers, taps them, and instantly rocket launches into the air. Clinging to a high cable above a massive drop, the developers excitedly alter the building structure, cornering Guy on a high bridge. Guy grabs gear on the fly but stumbles off the bridge. Thankfully, a bubble shield absorbs his fall, saving his life. Devs celebrate their victory, unaware that NPCs can respawn infinitely. In reality, programmer Keys lives an NPC-like life himself. Back in college, Keys and his friend Millie created an indie game, but a big corporation bought it cheap and stole their code engine to build Free City. Millie remained furious for years. She confronts Keys about working for the shady company, and asks him to help her infiltrate the game to find proof of their stolen IP. Though Keys wants to help, he needs his job and declines. Left with no choice, Millie sneaks into a villain's digital stash house alone. Suddenly, Guy spawns right behind her, saying he's been looking for her everywhere. Their chatter alerts the guards, forcing Millie to pull out weapons and blow open a portal to escape. Guy follows her through the portal and naively asks to team up. Millie taps her glasses to check his level, only to see a pathetic level 1. She tells him to level up to 100 before talking to her again. But leveling up usually requires robbing or attacking NPCs, which gentle Guy refuses to do. Instead, Guy comes up with a brilliant idea: level up by being the good guy and saving citizens from aggressive players. He stops high-level bullies, protects NPC property, and levels up at unprecedented speeds. His good deeds blow up online, turning him into a global hero known as Blue Shirt Guy. Seeing his fame, Millie contacts Keys to buy her 5 minutes inside the villain's stash house. Just as she finds the evidence, alarms sound. Heavily armed guards surround her, but Guy suddenly crashes in on a motorcycle, taking down guards with stylish acrobatic combat moves. Ninjas drop from the ceiling, but Millie fights smoothly alongside Guy. Swooning over her moves, Guy almost forgets they're in battle. When guards attack, Guy deflects them with Captain America's shield, revs up a Ducati motorcycle, and invites Millie to jump on. Millie does a slick backflip onto the seat behind him. Together, they fight off enemies, blast through glass windows, and soar into the air. Sparks fly between them. But Millie realizes a crucial problem. Floating down safely with a glider, Millie is thoroughly impressed. Guy invites her on a date and brings her bubblegum ice cream. Sharing the exact same quirky taste startles Millie. They swing on park benches, talk about life and dreams, and end up sharing a passionate kiss. Watching this unfold, Keys feels a pang of jealousy. He looks up Guy's real-world player account, only to discover Guy is actually an AI code algorithm he wrote years ago. Guy's evolving preferences were programmed from Keys' own secret crush on Millie. Keys rushes to tell Millie that her romantic lead is pure code. Millie refuses to believe her kiss was with an NPC. Keys then drops worse news. The publisher is releasing Free City 2.0 in 48 hours, which will wipe all servers and destroy Guy's world forever. They must retrieve the stolen code build before the wipe. Millie finds Guy at a secret bar. Millie explains that his world is just a digital game, and he is merely an NPC. Guy is stunned, but seeing his inner thoughts and crush programmed on-screen breaks his heart. Heartbroken, Guy wanders out into the city, ignoring Millie's calls. He had felt something missing his whole life until she appeared, but now it all feels like a lie. Ignoring gunshots around him, Guy travels to the edge of the map. He reaches out to touch the horizon. His hand presses against an invisible glass wall. Shattered, he screams in the street that everything is fake. Guy reveals the truth to his best friend, Buddy. But Buddy wisely points out that even if their world isn't real, their feelings, friendship, and moments are real to them right now. Inspired, Guy decides to help Millie retrieve the evidence. Expecting a brutal heist, the stash house guard turns out to be Guy's biggest fan. Controlled by a famous streamer in reality, the guard takes a selfie with Guy and willingly hands over the video evidence, even doing a victory dance as they leave. Guy delivers the evidence to Millie, but suddenly the digital files glitch out and disappear as Millie freezes in place. Time stops across the server, pixels flicker wildly, and every human player is booted from the game. As Guy's fame grew, fans protested the sequel release. Facing massive lost pre-orders, evil CEO Antoine ordered a complete server reboot. Gamers rage everywhere. The moment servers come back online, Millie logs back in, desperate to see Guy. Reset to factory defaults, Guy no longer remembers her. Keys calls Millie, explaining that a reboot cannot erase core AI programming. All Guy needs is a trigger. When Keys created Guy's code, he programmed Millie as his ultimate dream girl. Reconnecting with her will jumpstart his self-awareness once again. Millie immediately marches to the bank. She grabs Guy right out of a robbery, pulls him into an alley, and pulls out her secret weapon, a kiss. Memories flood back in vibrant light. Guy suddenly remembers everything, including where the original hidden game build is located. Reflected in his apartment window was the original build horizon that Antoine forgot to delete when stealing their code, but it lies across the ocean. Since game code blocks players from crossing the ocean, Guy hatches a bold plan using his celebrity status. He rallies every NPC in the city, inspiring them to break their programming and stop working. Guy gives a passionate speech, urging every NPC to make their own choices and claim their freedom. His words spark a citywide strike among the game's artificial intelligence. Under Guy's leadership, all NPCs unite. The next day, logging players find empty streets and deserted banks. Chaos erupts among gamers. Realizing the crisis, CEO Antoine rushes into the office, ordering Mouser to eliminate the troublemakers. But NPCs disobey. Enraged, Antoine takes an axe to game servers, causing skyscrapers to collapse and ground to fracture around Guy and Millie. Keys intervenes from his console, spawning a bridge out of nowhere so Guy can reach the ocean shore before Antoine catches Keys. Antoine confronts Keys, boasting about profits. Keys flips him off and makes his choice, using his final admin commands to build a floating bridge across the ocean for Guy. Floating debris turns into a massive bridge over the water. Panicking, Antoine forcibly logs off all players, causing Millie to vanish and leaving Guy to push forward alone. Right as Keys is fired, he quietly streams the event online. Millions watch live as Antoine unleashes an unfinished, overpowered brute NPC named Dude. Dude shouts placeholder lines like catchphrase and easily overpowers Guy, kicking him 50 feet. Buddy rushes in to help, but gets instantly knocked out. Dude brutalizes Guy with devastating combos, leaving him completely helpless as Antoine commands the brute to finish him off. As millions stream the epic showdown, Guy digs into his inventory. He equips Captain America's shield to block Dude's massive strikes. Then Guy pulls out a Jedi lightsaber. He slices back, but despite Dude's thick health bar, Guy still has more pop culture weapons up his sleeve. Guy summons a portal gun to trick Dude, but the brute breaks free and grabs Guy by the throat. On the verge of defeat, Guy catches his sunglasses. Instead of fighting, Guy realizes Dude is just an unawakened AI, so he puts the glasses on Dude. Seeing the glowing world for the first time, Dude becomes mesmerized and friendly. Desperate, Antoine grabs an axe in the real server room and begins smashing the physical server racks, causing the game world to crumble. Buddy tries to shield Guy from falling debris as the digital environment disintegrates around them. Before vanishing into digital dust, Buddy gives Guy one final push of encouragement to finish the run. With the world dissolving behind him, Guy runs at full speed toward the finish line and leaps across the gap under the eyes of millions. He lands safely in the original indie world, exposing Antoine's theft on livestream. Antoine is arrested, and the original game is officially launched. Millie visits Guy inside his new paradise. Guy gently tells her that while his love was real, it was programmed based on Keys' true feelings, and the real person who loves her is standing in the real world. Realizing the truth, Millie steps away from her computer and rushes outside to meet Keys, finally uniting in real life. Back in the game, Guy enjoys his new peaceful life hanging out with Dude, though he still deeply misses his best friend Buddy. Suddenly, Buddy respawns in this new world. The two friends embrace warmly. Free from robberies, banks, and scripts, they unbuckle their belts and finally live a truly free life.